Hello and welcome to the Sub1 YouTube channel. My name is Ray, and in this video we're going to have a look inside a servo that has failed. This is a Feichao F39202 270 degree digital servo rated at 35 kilo. So on the initial look at one of these, they appear to be quite sturdy, good metal body. Let's see what the insides look like. I'll pull the top cover off here first. Let's have a look at the gearbox. So they look like they're all metal gears, better than the last servos I had. So in the last servo I'd pulled apart, only the output gear was metal. In this one, that's definitely metal. That looks like a steel ball bearing race with a seal. So that looks pretty good. That's definitely a metal gear. So is this one. That's a metal gear down there. And so is this one. That's pretty good. That looks like nearly all the gears are metal. So quite often I've seen servos where the last gear off the motor, sorry, get this into frame, is plastic, and that too coming off the motor is also metal. That's a brass gear, all the rest appear to be steel. That's pretty impressive actually. Right, so let's pull the other cover off. Okay, so this has stopped working because it has let some smoke out. Alright, so it's got a nice seal around the body. Let's pull that out of the way. This whole casing comes off. Right, so that is definitely a aluminium body, good for heat dissipation. The motor is actually attached to the output or the gearbox plate by screws. Most of the ones I've seen in the past are just press fitted. There's another seal here around the gearbox. And there's our damage. One of the driver chips is burnt. So it looks like they've got different part numbers. AP14935. Definitely burnt that one out. That board's gotten very hot. You can see it started to burn the wire, but that's a silicon wire. Rated at 80 degrees C. Looks like they've just soldered the wires on the ends. They haven't been soldered through the board. Right, so it's a standard square pot. I'd have to put a multimeter on that to identify its size. Directly coupled to the output gear. So apart from the chip burning out, it appears to be the gearbox and motor assembly you can't complain about. It is solid. It is metal all the way through, from the motor through to the output. I can't complain about anything to do with the gearbox side. The only thing that's let this down is that one chip has burnt out. I wouldn't mind betting when I have a look at the next one, it's the same story. That one chip burnt out. Now these are supposed to be rated to 7.2 volts, which is what I was driving it at. I might have to do a search online for that chip number and see if it's possible to get replacements, although that board has gotten very hot where it's failed. Maybe if it was heat sinked better, it might have lasted longer. So the chip with the white dot on it, that'll be our controller chip for it. And I would have thought these two chips, this one and this one, are our driver chips for the motor power. So you can see this one terminal here goes back in and under here. That'll be connecting to the terminals here. So we should have some of these connecting to ground, some to power, some to the motor terminal, and then we've got control on the other side. I think I might look up the data sheet and we can have a closer look on the other side of this. You can see the trace runs all the way through, and there are small holes here which are plate through to get to the other side of the board. Interesting that they're there as well. But it does appear that that is connected back to here as well. So this might just be a pair of low side and those are a pair of high side drivers. Right, so the black wire here is our ground, and you can see it's connected back over here with some plate through holes. So there's one big chip under there. This one here is our supply voltage. It comes through some plate through holes here, and it's plated through to connect to this chip. So this is our high side driver, and that's our low side driver. And this one goes through the board and straight to the controller chip. Alright, so that was interesting. I can definitely say the gearbox on this is very solid. I am very impressed with the gearbox. Not so much with the electronics. Maybe run these at slightly lower power. I was running at 7.2 volt. Maybe a little bit over 6 volt. They were listed for 6 to 7.2 volt operation. The gearboxes have a higher ratio than most of the ones I've looked at. They run slower than most of the servos that I've looked at in the past, with a 60-degree rotation in 0.351 seconds. But they make what they lack in speed, they make up for in torque. Just a bit disappointing that chip burnt out. Heat sinking on that may have prevented that from happening, and it's got an aluminium case. The aluminium case could have dissipated that heat away very easily and potentially prevented the burning out of the chip. So the only thing I'd recommend to the makers of this is maybe heat sink the chip. Other than that, it's a really good looking servo. Very impressed. Alright, that'll do for this video. If you like these videos, don't forget to click on like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. I do have a Discord channel, so you can join the community in Discord. There will be a link in the description, and you can join my Patreons on Patreon. My VIP Patreons Go Lucky and Lorenz Berger, as well as my Builder Patreons Elmorales 45 and Ratchet. And we'll see you in the next video.